Hello there. Welcome again to my living room, to my studio, the room where I do most of my living, creating. Now, today I want to have a conversation about something that is unpleasant, that is painful, that is really not nice. As creative people, as people in general, but more so as creative people, we have periods where everything sucks. Everything is shit. We are shit. Everything is wrong. Nothing is working. Nothing is looking good. Nothing feels good. Periods where we see the world and see ourselves in a very negative way. Now, creative people usually are hypersensitive, which means that something that seems a little bad to a normal person, for a creative person will be the end of the world, will be horrible, will be disgusting, will be so painful it is pure torture just to be alive. Creative people are really good at suffering because they create it. They take the basic suffering that life gives you, and goddamn, we know life gives you a fair share of suffering, and they multiply it, and they build on it, and they make it better. They make it more elaborate. They make the best suffering that they can. Because again, creative people are creating things. They create beautiful things. They create things of magnificence. So your suffering will be magnificent. It will not be a normal suffering. I know that this is part of life, and especially part of the creative life. When I was young, and a little more stupid than I am now, if this is possible, I thought that I could change it. I thought that life shouldn't have suffering in it. I thought that this is something that I can control. As I said, I was young. This is why when I look at young people now and I see how they think they know anything, I laugh. I really do laugh. It's charming. It is completely delusional, but it is charming. And I was like that. I thought that suffering was something that I can avoid. Buddhists say that life is suffering. I definitely don't agree with that. This is loser thing at its best. Life is not suffering. Life has suffering as a small part of it. Well, actually, it depends on you on what part of it. But what I want to talk to you today is how can you work through these periods? How can you work through these periods where you really feel like shit? And sometimes you should feel like shit because sometimes you failed. Sometimes you don't do enough to push yourself. Sometimes you don't build enough opportunities for yourself. Sometimes you don't have the energy, you don't have the willpower. Sometimes feeling like shit is the right thing to do. When you do something good, you feel good. When you don't do something good, you feel like shit. How do you live through these periods? Because they are painful and they can be destructive because they will make you do things that are bad. They will make you hurt yourself. They will make you hurt other people. They will make you hurt your career. So it is not a good idea to feel like shit for a long time, for a period. What I do, my little trick, and I don't know if it can work for anyone, and sometimes it doesn't even work for me, but sometimes it does. I give myself time to feel like shit. I think that it is important. I put it on my schedule. But I put a limited time. For the next 3 hours, I am going to be a miserable, pathetic failure. For the next 3 hours, I am going to be a miserable, pathetic loser. I am going to be the miserable, pathetic failure that I am, that everybody knows I am, that everybody looks at and laughs. I am going to be a failure for the next 3 hours. You know, nobody can love me. How can anybody love me? How can anybody look at my work and say this is beautiful? It's not. It's bad. It is shit. Because I'm not talented and I'm not smart enough. And people don't like me. And the world is against me. And I'm sure that you can come up with any kind of self flagellating and kicking yourself ideas. I'm sure your head is full of them and they are just waiting for the right time. Give them this right time, but limit this time. For the next 3 hours, I am going to feel the worst that I have ever felt. I am a loser, a failure. I am anything bad that I can think of. For the next 3 hours. After that, go back to work. It really doesn't matter if you feel bad or if you feel good. You have work to do. You have things to do. You have things to create. You have new ideas to come up with. You have new plans to make. You do have a lot of work to do if you think about it. So just schedule yourself the times where you have these destructive, horrible, bad times. This is the only advice that I can give you. No matter what, after you finish these 3 hours, and you know what? Take a full day if you want to. I don't mind. I will wait. Tomorrow is coming soon enough. But not more than that. So the only real advice that I can give you is once you finish playing this childish game of kicking yourself, of making yourself feel even worse, when you finish these 3 hours, this half a day, this day, the only advice that I can give you is once again, just keep on keeping on. You. Just keep on keeping on. Next week, next month, you can have another half day to feel like shit. It's okay. On me.